Hey everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing with some collage images and adding some extra detail to an image. So this is using a drippy face, beautiful collage sheet from Natalie May's scrapbooking. And I'm just sort of cutting it down to fit in my journal. Now I'm not a big fan of when you glue in collage tissues into a page that you have lots of the white collage in the background or the tissue. It does, even though they sort of melt into the page mostly, it does actually leave sort of like this halo around. So I tend to cut away as much as I possibly need to, so I only get what I want on the page, if that makes sense. I'm also choosing to use my tinted gel medium to do this. So this is a Range Ink vintage gel medium. You don't have to use tinted gel medium at all. You can just use general normal gel medium. I just like, particularly on craft page, it just helps blend it into the background a little bit. One of the things I've been really enjoying doing while I've been using these products is to use my gloss sprays to paint with. So they're an acrylic paint. They're basically like a high flow acrylic, but they've got really lovely colors. They blend together. Then a little bit more translucent than regular acrylic paint. Now obviously if you didn't have them, just water down your acrylics. It would work exactly the same, but this just gives a different effect. So you can sort of see the color is really translucent. It's almost like glazing the image. So all I'm doing is just building up my layer. So I'm starting off with my lightest pink, that's blushing. Then I'm going in with Sedona, which is like this warm orangey burnt red color, which gives her a really lovely skin tone as well, and just building up. You will see some of the texture, you will see some of the color as it layers up, and that's okay. I like having those little drips and so on, and particularly for this page in particular, because it's got those drips already in the image, it really adds to it. I'm also adding in this sort of greeny color. Is actually a metallic gold called Gilt, and it's almost like liquid gold. It's just beautiful to work with, but it just gives it the skin tone, this sort of sun-kissed effect. With the hair, I really like having this sort of dark bluey blacky color. Looks like she does have a beard at the moment, but it's okay. We go back and rescue. So again, because it is like a glaze, you can layer over some of the other colors and it will sort of just blend it into the background, but it's just to build up that shadowy color on my image. Because I wanted to drip like the original one, I am just going in with my paintbrush and helping it to drip down. So I'm using a finer paintbrush and adding in a little bit of water as well helps it. Even though this is quite liquid, adding in just that little bit of water will help it run. If you really want to control where your drips are going to go, you can actually cheat a little bit and drip water down your page first, so it creates a channel, and then put your ink on top, and that will help it really blend in. I've used a mix of the blue to create the drips on my page, and also the black gloss spray. The black, when it goes on, looks like a blue tone. When it dries, it is a real true black. So it may take you by surprise. Just be aware that it is quite dark. Looks amazing, but it is quite dark. I went back in with some paler colors with my ink again, and you can sort of see me still overlapping, adding color. Then I am just splatting the gold on everywhere. One of the things I really love about this gold is because it's metallic. If you've used gloss sprays in the craft journal, I didn't actually talk about this before, you can sort of see it on this page where I've just moved that. It seeps into the page really quickly. With the page that I worked on, I obviously put gel medium in the background to glue my image down, but I actually went over the entire piece with gel medium. That's why it looks slightly glossy and a slightly darker color than the right hand side page. So all my gloss mediums are sitting on the surface. That's why I can build up those layers. If you look on the right hand side where that little triangle of black is, you can see how matte it is because it's actually sucked into the fibers of the page. So play around. You can use clear gesso, or you can just use a coat of clear gel medium over the top and it'll give you a really cool effect. So all I'm doing now is just adding some extra detail, and this is where the detail stuff comes in. I've built those layers with my gloss sprays to build up the color I want in the background, but now I've gone in with some watercolor pencils. Those are the distress pencils from Tim Holtz. I'm going in with a really fine liner brush to add in more detail with the gold strands of hair. I'm also going in with the liner brush to add in some black lines. So this is what I would usually use my Stabilo Oil Pencil with, but I'm actually choosing to use my black ink because I have so much of it out. I got a little bit heavy-handed when I was pouring it out, and I'm using my fine brush to add detail into the hair, into the eyes, into the eyelashes, into my shadows. I do go in with my Stabilo Oil Pencil at the end as well, just because it's, for me, I find it a little bit more controllable than using a paintbrush. Once I get my head around using a fine paintbrush more than using my thick paintbrushes, it might be a little bit easier. I'm also going in with my white Stabilo Oil Pencil, again to do the same thing, just to add those little bits of highlight, both in the hair and onto the shoulders where there's a little bit of light coming in to reflect from. Once I sort of finished with all these bits and pieces, you can see me trying to clean up and put stuff away. I'm also going to go in and write a quote on my page. So I've got my white paint pen. Now usually I would use a black, but in this page, because it's so dark and because I'm working on my craft page, I'm using sort of the contrasting color. One of the reasons I use my paint pens is so if I make a mistake like I did just then, I can wipe it off. Now usually again on craft, if I hadn't sealed the background, I wouldn't be able to wipe it off the craft page because the gloss sprays will seal. I could wipe it off the gloss sprays, but if I'd written where I've written off onto the craft, usually it wouldn't be able to wipe away. Because I have sealed it with the gel medium in the background, it means I've got a little bit more freedom with that as well. I've just chosen to colour in the little circle parts of my text because I quite like that look at the moment. And instead of, I've sort of basically just reversed what I usually do with my letters. So usually I write with black and use my white to do a bit of a drop shadow. In this case, I'm writing with my white pen and using my black to do a drop shadow, just to vary it up a little bit. It is, I find, really important, even if it's really fine writing like this on a page, just to put that little pop of colour next to my letter to help push it out from the background. My focus on the page, even though I love that image in the background, I find it beautiful to look at, my focus on this page is the writing. That quote, to me, sort of sums up why that image is there. Your work of art, not everyone will understand you, but the ones that do will never forget about you. So even though she's feeling like a mess, she's feeling a bit drippy, she's a work of art. So here you can sort of see where all that detail's gone in with the lines and the fine brush, the drips, the pencil work over the top, even just going down to the scribbling makes a difference on this page. So I hope you have a go. I'll leave the contact details for Natalie May in the description box below so you can check out her collage papers, but this will work for anything. And if you're a talented face drawer of faces, you could use the same techniques to build up your the color on your drawing after you are finished. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.